Hello everyone and welcome to your on-site orientation at the Target warehouse with Select Source. Today we'll be going over the distribution center orientation, which will include some important information about safety training, what to do in case there's any emergencies, basics about lifting, safely using warehouse tools, lockout devices, and any other additional info about Select Source like clocking in and out, your pay schedule, contact info, reporting injuries, etc. As Select Source being your employer, we do want to make sure you understand and acknowledge everything on this presentation so you are successful in your position and know who to go to if you have any questions or concerns. So the first slide here is safety training and procedures. And when we go to the next slide, first thing to go through as far as emergencies would be fires. If there is a fire indicated or occurring, the first thing that will be happening would be the evacuations announced over the PA system. First things first is to be aware of the nearest exit from you and exit as soon as you can, bringing any equipment or tools you're operating to an immediate stop. And you'll be meeting with the nearest group of temporary workers and Target team members outside at one of the rally points. Afterwards, the Target operations manager will be taking head count and will relay to us as your employer of who was there and who was not. And you are not allowed and not able to enter the building until you're instructed to do so by the managers. The next emergency to go over would be any kind of severe weather as far as tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, if those are common in your area. The first thing to do is to proceed immediately to the nearest shelter that's been designated by Target, and anything else will be identified at the building by your supplier representative, which is our shift leads that we have indicated for each shift with Select Source. With earthquakes, move away from any kind of glass, shelving, racking areas that might potentially fall on you. Make sure you are safe under a designated area that your operations manager has indicated for you. The next main emergency would be medical. So if you do come across anyone who has been injured on the job related to work, if you see any blood or bodily fluids, please do not touch them. Report it to your manager apart from the shift lead as well about this injury, about this incident, so that we can get to it and report it as soon as we can. And unfortunately, one of the other emergencies that can occur would be active shooter. If there are any active shooters in the building and you come across this type of encounter, please run, hide, do whatever you can to avoid conflict with this person and to make sure that your safety is put as a priority. If you are faced with the attacker, fully commit to your actions and try to protect yourself in any way you know how. On this safety basics slide, it's just reiterating that at the end of the day, safety is your responsibility as an individual. All temp workers after this orientation PowerPoint will be required to complete an on-site safety orientation checklist after the safety training is completed with the indicated target employee. You are never to block an emergency exit or its walkway, and you only are supposed to walk in designated walkways. If you're traveling outside, just be extra alert for any kind of equipment or tools that are being used at that time. And another thing is if you see any kinds of liquids or foods or anything on the floor at all that can potentially cause a slip, trip, or fall, please make sure to handle that, clean it up as soon as you see it, and make sure people are aware if it does take more than a couple minutes to clean up. Lifting basic slides is just so you know how you are supposed to lift any kind of heavy equipment or tools or anything of the sort. Is to lift with your legs by bending your knees and do not lifting with your back. Lifting with your back can cause very strenuous injuries that would have to be reported immediately to the shift lead. If you want to read this over just to know exactly how you're supposed to be lifting and how close to hold to your body, please take a moment and just read this through. Box cutters and trailers. Please make sure when you are utilizing a box cutter that you are cutting away from your body and closing the box cutter after you're done using it. If the blade does get dull at any point, remember to change that out so there's no injuries that will occur. And dispose of any blades in the designated receptacles, not in the regular trash cans that you will be seeing around the distribution center. And as far as trailers, at the bottom, it just states what lights will indicate when to open the door and when not to open the door. And if you can bear with me for just a little bit longer, we are about halfway through these slides. I do want to go over with the manual pallet jacks. All of you will be trained on how to use the manual pallet jack prior to using in case you do not have the knowledge yet on how to utilize it. You're not supposed to ride on the pallet jack, so please make sure you're not putting your feet on top and riding them. Start and stop the pallet jack gradually to prevent the load from slipping, and you'll be storing it in neutral position in a designated location in the warehouse. And this slide is just a part 2 of how to use the pallet jack and how to make sure you're using it safely. If you want to read through that and give it a minute. With powered equipment, a temporary worker will not be using any kind of powered equipment such as forklifts, stock pickers, scissor lifts, or anything else to handle the equipment or material. This will be done by our target employees, not by the temp workers, but when you do see anyone using powered equipment, please make sure that they are aware of your presence around that so that we prevent any kinds of injuries. Alright, and when working near a conveyor, make sure you're never placing a body part on or in the moving parts of the conveyor. Any kinds of loose clothing or accessories are not allowed when working near a conveyor since they could get caught in the machine. Hair beyond shoulder length have to be secured above the shoulders to prevent it from getting caught as well. And please make sure you are aware of the location of the emergency stopping in the case that you do need to press that to stop it immediately. Any other questions, please make sure to relay to the employee at Target at the warehouse so that you are aware of how to use it and how to stay safe from it. This slide is just stating that our temp workers with SSI will not be performing anything with the lockout, tagout, and red tags on site. This will be performed by Target employees. And here you can see an image of what these lockout tagout devices look like. And at the bottom, never remove Lodo devices. Now, if you ever get any kind of debris or substance or anything of the sort in your eyes, please make sure you run to the eye wash station closest to you to make sure that any kind of debris in your eye is getting removed. Please make sure you're flushing your eyes with this water for at least 15 minutes to prevent any kind of infection or injury to your eye. Now we all know that these powered equipments that are going to be utilized at the distribution center can get quite loud, so all temp workers are required to use hearing protectors, which will be provided by Target themselves and are located in areas where hearing protection is required. This slide is just showing a few of the words that were used in the slides prior in case you're not aware of the term or the meaning. If you want to look that over real quick. Now, in the case that there are any types of injuries related to work on site, please make sure that the moment that the injury occurs, it is being reported immediately to your shift team lead, which is working with SSI as well, and the care team contact, which will, in a few slides after, you will see their contact name, information, phone, email to be able to get in contact with them and let them know what occurred on site. Afterwards, we'll be going through an investigation and reporting this injury within 24 hours of the incident. So again, I just want to reiterate, please make sure you are reporting these injuries as soon as it occurs. If you want to look over this slide real quick, it is just showing you that you will be on a weekly payroll schedule and your first payment is based on when the period begins and the period ends, along with the check date on the right-hand side. To punch in and punch out with Target for your shifts, you will be using our Paylocity mobile app. And on this slide, it shows you how to register yourself as a new user, along with the company ID that's on the right-hand side, lettered in red. That will be the code that you will be putting in every time you log in and log out of the Paylocity mobile app. So make sure you take note of the N7284 that's put right there for you. Since you'll be using Paylocity to clock in and clock out, I've listed step by step on how to get to the button on the app with a screenshot on the right hand side on what the screen will look like and what it will be displaying on your phone. And just a reminder, as written below in red and in bold, missing a punch will result in a delay in your pay. So please make sure you are on top of your clock ins and clock outs and that they're accurate. If you see that for some reason they're not, please add in the comment section of the clock outs or clock ins that it is incorrect and notify your shift team lead that works also with SSI so that we can notify our care team and get that fixed as soon as we can. But at the end of the day, just a reminder, your punch in and punch outs and the accuracy are your responsibility, so please make sure you are on top of that. And on this slide, it's just showing you how to get to the history tab so you can see the history of your punch-ins and punch-outs on the app in case you do want to review and make sure that they are all accurate. Now, since at the end of the day, SSI is your employer, if you have any expectations or any questions or concerns regarding your assignment, you are required to contact us in these below circumstances. If you're late for work or unable to come in, you will contact our care team, which will be listed on the next slide. If you experience any problems and emergencies, if your assignment requirements have changed or they're different from the job description that we, your employer as SSI, gave you, if you have any time off required, any questions regarding your pay or timesheets, if you receive a direct job offer from Target, of course, any on-site injuries, and at the end of the day, you are responsible for the accuracy of your timesheet. So, in any cases, any questions, again, please make sure you contact not just your shift lead, but your care team contact as well. All right, so we made it to the last slide of our PowerPoint here today. This just lists the contacts of our care team, and if you have any questions again or concerns, anything you want to know, please make sure you reach out to Sonam or Preeti, and Ketki is your onboarding team lead as well. So I just want to say congratulations, have a great first day, and again, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to us, okay? Thank you so much and welcome to the team, guys.